However, Chris does not like correction.
That's bullshit,
And
man.
when
That's bullshit. That's
when
bullshit.
I corrected Chris,
That's bullshit. We should have had a conversation.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. We're talking to you guys about, well, Chris being checked by Pastor Dwight and not liking it. But guess what? Just because he ain't liking it doesn't mean we don't love it. You understand? Listen, if you want to pay more, you want to what? Whoa, coach. And there's no do-overs on this. Listen, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notifications up, lows, and for those of you who are returnees, you got the minerals, you got the minerals. Let's talk about some real stuff. Come on, let me get closer to the thing. Let's talk about some real stuff today. Okay, look. We've seen Chris for the last, 8, 9, 12, whatever weeks we've been seeing him on our screen. And one of the things that we've come across with Chris is that he does not take any accountability. Or he doesn't take correction, I should say, very well. Whenever he's challenged, he has a problem. When Pastor Dwight challenged him a few weeks ago, he had a problem. When Dr. Viviana challenged him, he had a problem. Okay, there isn't a time, there isn't a time where when he's challenged on what he does, that he doesn't come out of pocket. Why? Because he himself will not take accountability when it's called upon. Look, he did a lovely speech today, come on here and talking about how obviously, yes, I'm sorry, Paige, that I did this and that, and Paige wouldn't be a man like me because I'm an immature man. Listen, all that spiel is smack talk. All that spiel is smack talk because the real Chris always comes out when he's challenged. Whenever he's questioned, his ability to stay cool no longer exists. The true nature, the mask, slips off. Why does it slip off? It slips off because the true nature of the individual, the python laying behind the mask, truly has to slither out and show its face. Why am I using that as an analogy? I'm using that because the person moves in a certain way that goes on like, I'm responsible, do you know what I'm saying? I've got my finances in order, I'm about that life, I'm willing to get married, I'm on my third engagement, I'm really serious about marriage. And then we see a behavior that's snakish. The snakish being the fact that, look, he's double forked tongue in the sense of he says one thing but does another. Oh, I care about Paige, but then you say she's ugly. You know what I'm saying? Like you say that, or you wanted to make this marriage work, or you were trying to at least in some aspects, you were trying to get her back at the last D-Day. But throughout the whole season, you're showing us that you didn't want her, And so a lot of the action that he showed in this particular season were detrimental to anybody's health. I wouldn't want my sister anywhere near this guy. Okay, right? You can be forgiven, but you don't need to be in a relationship with her. Now he's obviously admitted that, and he's immature. He can't be in a relationship with her. So all right. But in this particular scene that we're going to break down, it is all about accountability. It's all about correction. And the moment he's corrected by Pastor Dwight, all hell breaks loose. I want you to pay attention to something. Okay, I'm going to go slightly back. Okay, just go slightly back.
Chris does not like correction.
That's bullshit.
And
boom, look at that. He was laid back, chilling, okay? And the moment Pastor Dwight said, Chris doesn't like correction, his whole body shifted, moved, and said it was absolute bullshit, right? Immediately, his body language shifted and changed. Why? He's being challenged. He's being called out. That's why I said Pastor Chris intentionally didn't call him out on the reunion. But when Dr. Viviana said, I'm not with this, she didn't even cuss him out. She said, I'm not with this. I don't like this. And Chris said, you don't have to like this. I don't care. Guess what? Respect went out the window. Let me tell you something. Anybody that will challenge him and his behaviors will always have a problem with him. Look, he allowed Kevin and said, Kevin, I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to hear you out. I'm going to calm down for you, Kevin. Do you know why he's going to cool down for Kevin? Because Kevin's not challenging him. Kevin's only asking questions. Guess what? This guy's watched my reviews. He knows who I am. You understand? Yeah? And he knows how I talk about his behavior. That's why when I messaged him, I said, let's come for an interview. He says, not interested. You're not interested because you get called out for your behavior. We are not going to accept this. I hope you're watching this, Chris. We're not going to accept your behavior. we will call out your behavior. It's absolutely diabolical. And the mere fact that you think that the apologies that you're doing, I know manipulators like you. You understand them ones where like your behavior is not new. It's why it frustrates me. It's like your behavior is not new. I've seen this before. The crying tactics, the walking out to try and get the person to like you, the mixed signals. Oh, I don't like you, I don't find you attractive, and then sleeping with you. It's all manipulation tactics. I've seen it before. It's nothing new underneath the sun. So when now Pastor Dwight now calmly sits there and says he doesn't like correction, look how quickly the energy zips into his bones, right? It zips into his bones, and look what's going to happen. See, the thing about Chris is, he's a peacock. All feather show. Everything's a feather show. You know, I'm being very harsh at this moment because I'm sick and tired of the behavior, and I think someone needs to speak to him. And you know what I'm saying? Like, the mum was an enabler. No beef with her. I just got to keep it 100 real. The mum was enabling his behavior. The dad was saying crazy things in the beginning of the show, putting pressure on poor Paige. Okay, she might not be able to say it, but we can say it because we're on the outside. I'm a reviewer, so I'm looking at the evidence I'm seeing. The mum was an enabler. The dad also partly is an enabler, but also part of the reckless behavior that was going on, making jokes and funny little bars at the very beginning of the wedding. And we get now a point where Pastor Dwight's on, and obviously, yes, Chris probably didn't know Pastor Dwight was coming on. I don't care. It don't make a difference because your behavior is still the same, right? Watch this next scene.
When I corrected Chris,
That's bull. We should have had conversations about that.
Pause. Right there and then, as you can see with Chris again. Oh, well, I'll show you in a second. As you saw with Chris there, you know, he kept on cutting across Pastor Dwight. Pastor Dwight's trying to explain what he's saying about the correction part, and he won't let him speak. Right? He's intentionally not going to let him speak, right? Because what he wants to do is dominate the conversation because he wants to orbit. It's a showdown. In a sense, it's a showdown. It's I'm going to shut you down. You're not going to have platform to speak. And when he couldn't shut him up, what happened? Chris left. Listen, it's nothing new under the sun. He's not about that life. Or if we can go to the parking lot, you're not about that life. You see, that's what, you know, bullies do the exact same thing. You know, when they can't get you, look, you know, you might say to a kid, you know, ride the jokes, ignore the bully. And the bully will take it physical because they know they can't get you now emotionally. The same thing with a manipulator. They know they can't get you in certain ways. So now they have to escalate it to physical about come outside. Well, it was never that deep. It's not, you guys think it's anger. It's not anger. It's the fact that he's manipulating. He thinks by taking it to that level, he will scare the person. It's funny how he was saying, oh, I'm not scared of you, Pastor Dwight. But Pastor Dwight never came on here trying to say you should be scared of him. Pastor Dwight's never said anything that's going to make you try and be scared of him. He's never said anything that's trying to intimidate you. He's just saying that you needed correction and you never took correction. And yet you're twisting it now to being, I'm not scared of you. But who said you were meant to be? Do you know, it's really funny. I remember an incident some years back. A guy that I knew, you know, taller than me, you know, but I was, them times that I was wham, yeah? Wham means I was hench, like shoulder brawn, bam, 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 I was wham. And I remember the guy was saying, like, I think, obviously his girl was in the gymnasium or whatever, and I walked past and I looked at her, I said, cool, and I carried on my business. And then someone else was saying, oh, I tried to move to his girl. So instead of him coming to ask me, we're outside talking now, yeah? And before I knew, I said, I didn't even escalate. I just said, bro, like, I'm not here to do them things, bro. If that's your girl, fantastic. I'm not trying to move to your girl, bro. I walked across the floor of the gymnasium to my seat. If your girl smiled at me, that's your business. If I smiled and I was moving mad, I can understand. But I just kept it friendly. I smiled, I said, hello, good. And I kept it moving. You were right there. So how did I miss it, right? Cool. Now, as soon as I just said, listen, bro, it's not even like that. Instead of de-escalating it, what did he do? Because he wants to show me where the levels are. Because you're already frustrated and angry. Listen, I don't care how big you are. I will bang you out. Wait, what? Bro, where are you going? I'm not trying to fight you. I don't even care for you or your girl. But the issue is when manipulators get into the scene, they have to try and intimidate you. That's why I don't like Chris's behavior. Do you understand? Because You've done your dirt to Paige, and now you know how the audience thinks. You're trying to shift it now, create a positive image and mentality by, always, even when you first started and talking about the fact that, oh, I'm not even angry at Paige. I'm redirecting my anger at Pastor Dwight for having a conversation with her without asking me. And then you turn it into a physical, you want to turn it into a physical altercation. Bro, classic manipulation tactics when you don't want to deal with a person, when you don't want to actually have a proper conversation as an adult. All right? Pride cometh before a fall, they say. Pride cometh before a fall. It's so glaringly obvious. When pride infects an individual person, they can't see the stumbling blocks, but they will eventually feel the ground. And it's like with Chris, he's got away with so much this season. Don't get it twisted. Listen, I think partly Paige is to blame as well because she's allowed certain behaviors to go on. But he's purposely put Paige in harm's way with Mercedes, and then had the cheek, the audacity, the unmitigated gall, the minerals to try and bring your ex-girlfriend onto the show to then have her talk with Paige. Are you mad or are you mad? You want to make this person mad. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to make this person crazy. Right? We spoke about this in the other videos about manipulation and talking about triangulation of narcissism and how it works and stuff, and using flying monkeys and stuff. But it's like, yo, bro, like you did unnecessary things. Let's watch a bit more.
That off camera,
He has no-
not on camera. You're not gonna do that. You're not my spiritual covering.
I understand it, but on this show,
Now he says here, look, you're not my spiritual covering. You're basically not his pastor, right? But it's funny because earlier on he said, obviously, Pastor Dwight was a friend, was a brother. Now, as a friend or a brother, there's times I have to correct you, right? Yeah, there's times I have to correct you. But this moving mad business, right? Your dad should have corrected you at the point where he did. He didn't, right? Because obviously he's your dad, and obviously he didn't want to didn't want to do it online or whatever. But at the end of the day, we saw your behavior gradually get worse, even after your dad had spoken to you. You played with Paige's heart. I want to be in a relationship. I don't want to be in a relationship. I think I'm falling for you. I don't want to fall for you. Oh, if you go away, I'll chase you. Your behavior was astronomically bad. In fact, I will have to do a compilation of all the episodes where he moved mad. I will do one and show you just how mad the levels are. That there is no other person that's been like you on Married at First Sight. You didn't come just to still kill, but you came to destroy. Bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so now Pastor Dwight being there is a representation of holding you to account. And as soon as they called you to account, look at the behavior. Look at the petulance that's coming through. Look at this.
what you won't do is disrespect.
You're not gonna disrespect me.
Now look at the body language. Coming off the seat, and now he's facing him directly. He wants to show him where the power lies. Paige is in the middle, right? And so, see, with Chris, everything always escalates. It always goes one step higher. It always goes one step higher. And all of this is a deflection tactic. He doesn't really want to get into a fight. He doesn't want to get into a fight. I've dealt with people like this, so I know they don't really want to get into a fight. They will if they have to, but they don't really want to go into a fight. It's just a challenge. It's almost like trying to throw a flinch punch. Like, I'm not going to punch you, but I'm trying to make you flinch, right? And trying to see, are you going to hold your nerve? That's what Chris did here. Are you going to hold your nerve, Pastor Dwight? And Pastor Dwight did, right? And at times it may look a little bit like, oh, you don't want to be going back and forth. But sometimes there are disagreements. We've got to be okay with disagreements. There's disagreements in the Bible. Paul had disagreements. So let's not get that. Let's not get that into our heads that you can't have a disagreement. You're gonna have some disagreements. As a pastor, as a congregational member, as a Married at First Sight person, as the cheerleader, whatever you want to call yourself, you're going to have disagreements with people. It's human nature to do so. It's a respectful manner how to do it. And I think Pastor Dwight did a good job of being respectful in doing so. But there had to be a challenge, because he's been getting away scot-free. Even the questions today, the manipulation that I saw, when Kevin asked Chris about Paige and Chris about why they kept on having sex, instead of answering it, Chris says, "Oh, not the sex questions today." And then Paige, instead of when Paige, and I'll show you this when I do my review about it, Paige did when they asked her the question originally, she was bracing herself to answer the question, and then Chris jumped in and said, "Oh, not the sex question today, right? Let's not do that today." And then Paige decided to yield. Why? Because Paige is also an enabler as well. And when she looks back on her behavior, she'll realize she enabled a lot of his behaviors. That's what happens with people who are manipulative, who are narcissists, who are abusers. They have enablers around them. People who will say yes, yes to your will, and my heart says yes. You are lover of my soul. Yeah, I just wanted to sing, to be honest. So yeah, I mean, to be honest, there was one part that was interesting as well. I think it was at the point where I'll get to it in a second. Actually, let me finish.
You're not going to disrespect me. They brought you out to come talk to me. I didn't come talk to you. I don't have nothing to say to you.
Well, let me talk.
You know, the Chris, all the cool mask of Chris went down the drain. He had done so well holding a mask, and I wish Kevin didn't say anything. I wish Kevin didn't say a thing, because there was people there who could stop the fight if they need to. I wish Kevin just kept quiet. I wish they all kept quiet and just seen what he would have done. Because, you see, given we gave in to him, what were you going to do, Chris? What were you really going to do? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you've all this particular show of Reunion, you've held your nerve. You've put on a fabulous show. You've acted very well. You've presented very well. You've had your answers ready in advance to get on the show and make sure it's crafted very well. And suddenly, one person says one little thing and you're out bursting the seams and the banks. You know what I'm saying? That's the real Chris.
I don't have nothing to say to him. How about correction? What the fuck you mean correction?
Look how incensed he is about correction. What's got you so riled up, Chris, about correction? Because Dr. Viviana said she didn't like what you're doing, and you blew up too. Listen, you don't like being told that you're wrong. You don't like being told what you're doing is wrong. You don't like being told that what you're doing is incorrect. You don't like it. You don't like it. Right? Most of us don't like being told that we're doing wrong, right? But if you're moving mad, there has to be an aspect of somebody being able to tell you what it is. Somebody who's close enough to do that for you, so that you don't go off the rails. But Chris is deciding that nobody can tell him nothing. His dad, his mum, his pastor, his friend, Pastor Dwight, Kevin, Pascal. Nobody can tell him a thing. His thug life for everything. You know. So I know. Listen, your spiritual covering doesn't. You see, your spiritual covering doesn't save you. Your spiritual covering does not save you. I don't even believe in spiritual covering anyway. Your spiritual covering does not save you. It doesn't save you. Okay? Right? If you've got bad character and bad form, you've got bad character and bad form. It don't matter who your spiritual covering is. You've got bad character, bad form. It's that simple. You will continue in that light. You must submit yourself, not to a man, but submit yourself to good ethics and character. You need to do it. You know? Let's play a bit more.
Chris, hold on for a second. Stop. Gather yourself and take a deep breath.
Conversation.
I need you.
Look how vexed he is. But now once he's finished, he sits back in his seat and saying, obviously, this is an off-camera conversation. Look, bro, even if it's offsetting, you'd have behaved the exact same way. Why do we know that? Because Pastor Dwight already told us that he tried to correct you, and you didn't take it. He tried to guide you and advise you. You stopped taking his advice and guidance. So and then you said to him, "You're not my spiritual advisor. You're not my my spiritual covering." So irrespective, it don't matter who it was. If they told you the truth, you still would fly off the handle, bro. You still do it. He still do it. He still do it. Right? Stay hydrated. Let's take it back a little bit. I want to take it back slightly little bit. I want to just bring this part here. Because there's an interesting part where he spoke about Mercedes. And I want to just quickly, if I can get to it. He spoke about Mercedes very, very briefly. Touched on the fact that obviously Pastor Dwight was bringing down Mercedes to bring up Paige. And I was like, no, he wasn't doing that. All he was saying was he didn't want you to lose Paige going to this ex and dealing with the ex and moving mad when you got a good girl in front of you. He did not put down Mercedes at all. If anybody did that, that was Paige. Paige is the one that said she didn't believe you and believe Mercedes about having a kid. You understand? It was Paige doing the talking.
That introduced you to the wife. It was inappropriate. I stand by that. My main problem was he was comparing Paige and Mercedes and I felt like he was tearing Mercedes down.
Now, he wasn't necessarily comparing Paige and Mercedes, but he did draw a comparison, but not in the sense of trying to degrade Mercedes. Right? We saw that. It wasn't trying to degrade Mercedes. All he was trying to say was Paige was the right one for kind of Chris, right? Like, but obviously he's not respecting the fact that she's a good one. Right? He never tore down Mercedes. If anybody tore down Mercedes, it's you. It is you. You brought your ex off camera. She's not part of the show, you know. Do you know how mad that is? Do you know how mad that is? That you took your ex-girlfriend, Mercedes, took her from where she was, brought her onto the show, and she had the unmitigated gall as well also to come on the show. Okay, right? She's still gonna get shots fired for her too, because she didn't have to come on the show. To come and meet the current wife on camera, on a whole camera. You came to see the current missus on the camera to come and discuss about Chris's behavior. My God, the unmitigated goal, the confidence, the madness, get the Chris. Because why would you want to accept that? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, do you know what I'm saying? So so Chris talking about obviously disrespecting Mercedes. You're the only one that's done that, bro. You bought Mercedes a car and told Paige after you bought the car without consulting her, listen, that's going to be disrespectful to Mercedes, and we're going to look at Mercedes sideways for, wait, she wants a Mercedes, does she? You had to buy her a Mercedes. Why? We're going to look bad at Mercedes because of your behavior. Not because of Paige. Not because of what Pastor Dwight said. Don't try to deflect the fact that Pastor Dwight went behind your back. The truth is, Pastor Dwight went behind his back. Yes, he did. Do you know why? He went behind his back because he knew you would not accept him going to talk to Paige. If he told you the truth of why he spoke to Paige, you would block it. You would do all sorts of gimmicks and tricks to stop him from doing that. Yeah, you stop it. So that's why he didn't go around your back. So we appreciate Pastor Dwight for standing up to him. Listen, some people can't take that correction. Someone will tell them the truth and they will blow up. The reason why they'll blow up is because they can't handle the truth. You know what I'm saying? They don't want the truth. They want to live in their particular bubble because it suits them, right? It gives them the power to keep on moving the way they are. The level of ignorance allows them to keep on moving mad as they were moving. You feel what I'm saying? Anyway, listen. So, I mean, I'm going to leave it there. Guys, just make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notifications. We appreciate Pastor Dwight for checking Chris on this turn. And make sure you guys comment down below as well. We appreciate you. Stay locked and stay loaded.